Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel PHYSICSSIRJEE. Here is a question which on the face of it looks like a fun question that I would like to present to you, but on the other hand it would be leaving us with a sense of fulfillment once we are done with this. It's rich in concept and something where we would try to marry off maths with physics. Okay, so let me present to you the formal wording of the question. Right, you are having a particle which is executing a uniform circular motion, as you could see in the diagram, of radius r. The radius of that circular motion is r. Its center is at 2r comma 0, and the diameter is the x-axis. Okay, right. So I'm defining certain vectors, so let me go very slow with this. R cap is the unit vector in the direction of position vector. So position vector of this particle as it moves on the circle is measured from origin, as we all know. Whereas capital R cap is the unit vector of the position vector with respect to center of the circle. So if you were to draw a position vector not from origin but from the center of the circle, then that is designated as capital R bar, and its unit vector is designated as R cap. I hope you note the difference between the two. Then we have V cap and A cap, which are unit vectors in the direction of velocity and acceleration instantaneously. Then find the magnitude and direction of something very fun, right? So R bar, which is this one, right? It is being differentiated with respect to times simultaneously 2020 times. Okay, so 2020 times, if you're supposed to differentiate this instantaneously with respect to time, then you would end up getting a vector, it seems. So he wants that value of the magnitude of the vector and direction of vector in terms of radius of the circle, angular velocity, which is constant because it's a uniform circular motion, and you may use for the direction any one of the unit vectors that I have marked here, either r cap, capital R cap, V cap, or A cap, or any anti-parallel vectors of these. Okay, so let's try to see this. So if you want to give it a try, have some fun, pause the video, give it a fair try, and then go ahead with the solution that I'm going to present. Okay, so here's the solution. So what I have done here is to finish a triangle. You could see that this is my position vector of the particle instantaneously, where the angle was given as 30 degrees. And at this instant, the position vector with respect to the center of the circle, I labeled it as C, is capital R bar. Okay, and there is a triangle that is formed. So as this particle moves on the circle, this blue one is a variable vector, both in magnitude and direction. This red one, which is capital R bar, only varies in direction but not in magnitude. And there is an OC bar. Can you see? That OC bar is a constant vector. It doesn't change in both magnitude and direction. So we have all the three nice variations. Okay, right. I've just finished that vector triangle. As you could see, OC bar plus R bar is equal to R bar. When I differentiate both sides once with respect to time, I immediately get rid of this OC, which is a constant. So first and foremost, differentiating small r bar or capital R bar any number of times, any further differentiations would be equal. So that makes my life easy. So I'm now going to look at only the radius vector. So from now onwards, we'll call this capital R bar as the radius vector, small r bar is a position vector. So it boils down to just finding out the differentiation of the radius vector. Okay, which this red colored radius vector at any arbitrary instant, let me draw it here. So can you see, can you follow me on the left of the diagram? So here, if I give it a dt seconds, that's what differentiation physically means, right? So you give it a dt amount of time, allow it to rotate by a d theta angle, which is infinitesimally small, and try to see how much is the change of that, right? So dr bar, we try to depict it in the diagram. So let's dive into, I'll zoom this diagram so that we can dive into that infinitesimally small world. Okay, so I tried to my best to represent it in this small world. I zoomed that particular picture. You could see I have allowed this red colored one to rotate anti-clockwise by a d theta. I hope you could see this. D theta is the angle of rotation. Then there is a small triangle that would be formed here, right? So the difference of this dr bar by dt means the change in r bar is the third side of the triangle. And you could see I've marked that small dr bar here, right? So what is meant by the dr bar by dt? Let's understand it physically now. So dr bar by dt can be written as dr bar, or in magnitude, let's suppose if I want first the magnitude, dr bar by dt is equal to the value of dr by d theta multiplied by d theta by dt. Okay, right? So what is meant by this dr and this d theta? Dr is the arc length of this. We can consider this to be a sector of a particular circle, right? So dr is that arc length, and d theta is the angle. What is the arc length by angle? Always equal to radius, right? So I think we all agree that this value would be simply value of capital R. And what is meant by d theta by dt in physics? You would get omega. And that's why you end up getting r omega as the quantity, which is the velocity, right? So rate of change of radius vector is the velocity vector. So dr bar is very small, but when you divide it with a dt, then you'll get a substantial value. So this substantial value, this r omega, this is your v vector, which is parallel to dr bar, but it's a bigger vector. Dr bar is small, dr bar by dt is a large vector. So this one. But let's try to understand. During the rotation of r bar, even velocity vector rotates. Can you see? By the same angle. If this rotates anti-clockwise, this also would rotate anti-clockwise. Then we can further think of the change of v bar, right? Change of v bar you could see in this diagram, similar to how I drew here, right? It would be in this direction. So we notice one very important thing here, that whenever you differentiate a rotating vector, its rate is always perpendicular to it. At 90 degrees, you could clearly see that this is 90 degrees in a small infinitesimal world. Same thing, right? When we differentiate velocity vector, which is nothing but differentiating radius vector twice, right? So dv bar by dt is nothing but d2 r bar by dt2, right? So that second differentiation, that would be again at 90 degrees. And this 90 degrees is also happening in the anti-clockwise sense. Okay, so and then you divide this dv bar by dt, you end up getting in this direction a value. If this answer was r omega, I think this answer would be v omega, which would be nothing but, I think you would all agree that if I divided it by dt, I would get the differentiation in this particular direction, and that would be simply value of v omega, which is nothing but, I think if v is r omega, you would get r omega square. So every time you differentiate, two things that you take out is that extra omega comes in the multiplication, and also the entire vector rotates by 90 degrees. So coming out of this world, you realize, right? And that means every time you differentiate, you would end up getting a 90-degree rotation of that vector. So that is what we'll borrow into the next page. So you'd see every 4 differentiations, therefore, right? So if every differentiation rotates it by 90, every 4 differentiations should be rotating it by 360, which means getting it back to the original direction. So every 4 differentiations make it parallel to r bar. You could see I have depicted the same in this picture here. Here on the right side of the screen, r bar, which is the blue color, becomes dr bar by dt, one differentiation this way. So you can just put your right hand and keep rotating it in anti-clockwise direction by 90. One more rotation, one more differentiation points the acceleration vector towards the center, right? In physics, we stop naming after the second differentiation, but maths need not stop. You can keep differentiating this. That's the whole idea of this video, right? So if you differentiate this d2 r bar by dt2 further, you would end up getting d3 r bar by dt3, which is again in the anti-parallel direction to velocity, and that would be the 90-degree rotation. And further, one more differentiation of 4th time, let's say, you'll end up getting parallel to r bar. So that's the eye opener, which you can even see in the trigonometry, right? That is always staring in our face, right? So why is this happening from trigonometric point of view? Any unit vector in the direction of r bar can be written in Cartesian system as cos theta I cap plus sin theta j cap. And even in trigonometry, we all see that any differentiation of sine or cos, right, is not valid with every tan or cot, but sine or cos, 4 times differentiation gives you back sine. Cos also 4 times differentiation gives you back cos. So differentiation of this vector should repeat it back. So this is from the perspective of trigonometry and unit vectors. Every which way, I think you realize 4 differentiation should be giving it parallel to itself. This is true for every rotating vector which is of constant magnitude. So, and we all are fortunate that for this particular set of problem, you have 2020 as a leap year, right? So therefore, every time capital R is differentiated, I think it will produce one 90-degree rotation and throws one omega. Second time r omega square. That's why we learn centripetal acceleration is r omega square. We stop the learning there, but I think maths keeps propagating from there. I think third differentiation is r omega cube. fourth differentiation would be r omega power 4, and therefore I think we can dare to say that 20 times of differentiation would finally put it in the direction of a radius vector, and therefore differentiation of small r bar same as differentiation of capital R bar. I think you all will agree that the result would be in the blue direction and would be r omega power 20 in magnitude, and in direction it would be r cap. So I hope you had fun with that 20 thing and also learned a crucial aspect of rotation of constant magnitude vectors, right? So thank you and see you in the next video.